Alright, so I've been having a bit of a clean up and looking around the front room and out in the shed here. I've got this. It's a Hitachi CR 18DV. It's an early 18 volt reciprocating. Takes the normal reciprocating blade. Just the downfall of it was the nickel cadmium 18 volt 2 amp hour batteries. One and 18 volt 2 amp hour battery is not going to give you a bunch of life, because the amount of voltage sag under load. Ni-cad batteries just start suffering pretty hard, and the difference between the two in energy density, it's only a 1.5 amp hour 18 volt battery. That weighs about 250-300 grams. That weighs a bit over a kilo. So the downfall really is the ni-cad batteries, because they're near impossible to look after correctly if you're using the tool as a working tool, and they still had a short life cycle where they were actually really powerful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repower this. I was thinking about making it so that you could just clip it in the bottom and slide it off like you normally would, and just repack the inside of one of these with 18-650s. But the actual clip slide part of the setup is a bit weird. The two terminals push up like so into the bottom of the tool, and you get your negative down here and your positive at the top. And there's a couple of leads that go down to a thermal cutout on the side of it when it's discharging hard, so it can't cook itself. But realistically, you need the bottom half of this battery with these clips to hold it into the tool. You need these cells at the top of the battery to provide spacing for the terminals. I don't have any more Milwaukee bases to make an adapter, so it's beginning to get, well, all too hard, which sucks. So we're going to go the other way. A couple of either these or some similar connectors. Just one hanging out of the side of that shred on the terminals on the bottom of the saw, which will in fact lighten the saw. The saw won't have a kilo hanging off the back of it, so it'll make it nicer to use. And then I like using them for steel, to be honest. Milwaukee make an amazing steel blade to use in them, and this one, not being brushless, has a lot more low down grunt because it's a DC motor instead of a AC brushless motor. If you don't understand what I mean, do a bit of research on the difference between AC and DC motors, but DC motors generally have more startup torque than stall torque. The next thing that's a big difference between going from ni-cad to lithium is if I just use, say, two of those 3 amp hour batteries up there, make a nice little battery cube, chuck a balance lead set up on it, I can just charge it with my plain old boring LiPo chargers. Means that it won't be fixed to the tool, it'll be off the tool, and I can take it inside, leave the tool outside. Basically I just want it to be usable at home in the shed and not have to get the other one out of my work van. And I do have two of these, and I also have a circular saw and a drill laying around the place that'll take this battery platform. So it would have been nice to make it click slide, but the terminals just can't handle the current either. Like they're just not as well set up as that, for instance. It's a Milwaukee 4 amp, so that's so much better set up to handle current. So goodbye ni-cad batteries. You probably served this tool reasonably well. I reckon they would have had most of their use in the drill and the torch in the situation they are in. Like boss gave them to me to stuff around with. See if we couldn't get some more life out of them and use them. Like if I can make this run, it means I don't have to dick around. I don't have to wear my good Milwaukee one out. I can just use this one for a bit, and you can have one that you use outdoors in the rain, or use it to do something that you probably wouldn't want your good one to be used for. Don't get me wrong, the Milwaukee one's tough. It's got a good warranty, but I've got 2 of these as well. Why would you throw these in the bin? You may as well use them for something. So yeah, this is going to be the part 1 of the repowering project for it. I've already got these 20 18650s in these 2 banks, raring to go. All I'll do is remove these circuit boards, but we'll do all that in another video. This is just an intro really. We'll zip these boards and that apart, get the cells wired up, get the balance leads all wired up on them, and start with that first. Then we'll work out a connector system, maybe even a baby Anderson connector, like the smaller ones, and pull the tool apart, get some wiring into the tool so it's got a nice battery on it, and we'll make it so that these they'll be a little bit smaller than what they are physically now, but they'll squish together like that. For size reference, it's about 70 or 80 mil. It'd be nice to make it fit in the pocket of a hoodie, or even if you could clip it to a belt, that'd be more than sufficient. But there's no reason why a short cord that sits on the ground's a big deal either. Wouldn't matter if I use this for pruning the odd tree and stuffing around. It's still going to be worthwhile doing. So 6 amp hour, 18 volt lithium repower for the Hitachi CR18DV, which is an old model number ni-cad reciprocating saw. In the US you might call it a sawzall, which is a Milwaukee name. I believe they may have come out with them to begin with, but yeah, it's a long shafted reciprocating saw. It should do 2100 reciprocations a minute. It'll probably do more running on lithium because it'll be 20-21 volts full charged, and they claim that it's got a 90mm cut in timber. But we'll get the project underway, and I'll make another video about pruning these up and getting them ready to be used as power sources for the for this. And also it'll give me a balanced 6 amp hour pack that's all mounted nicely, ready to be used for anything essentially. If all these Hitachi tools die in a week, we can still use them for something else. Thanks for watching. I'll bring you the rest of the series soon.